right, Joe's bored. I'm Joe. This the show. It is Wednesday, February 26th, 2025, on the day I hit record. And I think we got video, folks. I got the webcam going right now. We're able to record audio and video at the same time. And you'll know it before I know it, whether or not we're on the YouTube. But subscribe to the YouTube, Joe's Board. Subscribe to the Twitch, Joe's Board. I know I talked a lot about streaming over the weekend. We'll get into that. But before I get into this loaded topic show that I got this week, or today, I shouldn't say this week. Who knows? I can get another banger out by Friday. This episode is brought to you by Jake from Progressive. If you're in need of a new vehicle, go see my guy, Jake from Progressive, at Progressive Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, and Ram in Massillon, Ohio. Walk in that bad boy. Ask for Jake. He'll make sure to get you in something that's right for you. All right. I'm just excited that we got video, folks. I'm excited we're up and running. I've been battling a cold since about Sunday. I should have never talked shit about Mother Nature and winter and it just kicking my ass with keeping me inside, because then it just made me sick. Oh, and subscribe to the YouTube so you can see shirt of the episode. Got my MLB jam on. Jose Ramirez, Stephen Kwan. Let's go, baby. Gardos are back in spring training. We'll get into that. Well, we might as well get into it now. Fuck it, I already let off the show. But yeah, I've been battling a cold. So if I sound a little nasally, sound a little raspy, my fault, my bad. But there's a lot to talk about in just what I've been bored about lately. So I figured I wanted to get one out before it potentially gets worse for me. And I can't talk, and I'm coughing, and I'm blowing my nose a lot. Also, if you're watching on the YouTube, you'll probably see a glare on my glasses. That's because Mr. College Hoops himself, me, I'm watching a college hoops game. DirecTV, when the fuck did you get rid of CBS Sports Network? Like, I'm trying to watch St. Johns, and they're just not there anymore. And, what the fuck? Like, it's March. It's almost conference tournament time. I need you. I need you bad. So, figure that out. Stuck watching Seton Hall beat the fuck out of Villanova at halftime at the moment. I forget what I was even talking about. That's how down bad I am. So let's just get into it. We're talking college hoops. We're talking St. John's. Folks, the future has been placed. The big wager, the big future, it has been placed. And I put it on the St. John Red Storm. From earlier on when I gave you the crash course about how I didn't think I could trust them without a three-point shot, that's all changed. The defense that I've ranted and raved about for the last 3 episodes has held true. They just look like, I'll compare them to this. The other 2 teams that I potentially will put a future in later, the Houston Cougars and the Duke Blue Devils, I have the sense that if either one of those teams had to play St. John's in the tournament, especially Houston, with how they rely on the three-point shot very heavily, I think the Johnnies will get them. And the Johnnies haven't had a three-point shot all year. When's the best time to develop a three-point shot? March. And Rick Pitino, his second year, all those stats, all that shit that they talk about, I'm in. I believe it. I might be Mr. Pro Big East because of what the UConn Huskies have done for me the last few years. But damn, bro, I don't know how you can watch college basketball every single week and not have the St. John's Red Storm in your top 6. It's blasphemous if you want to use that word. It's the defense, man, and this could all change, but I placed the future. My big wager that I make every year, big wager in my book, but we don't unit shame over here. I don't unit shame. You shouldn't unit shame. You're supposed to be gambling responsibly. Do that shit. Always gamble I'm going to look into the camera right now. You, the viewer, you, the listener, always gamble responsibly. You hear me? You fucking hear me? Responsibly. Gamble. Okay, yeah. But I should have got them on Sunday. They were 35-1. I got them 25-1. Still great odds. Still a great payout. But yeah, the future's been placed. I told y'all I'd let y'all know. The future's been placed. It's the St. Johns Red Storm. But I have a Final Four sleeper for y'all. It's the BYU Cougars. I think there's always one team, right? There's always one team that crashes the party and hits the Final Four. If you ask me, if you had to pick the 4 best teams to make the Final Four, it would be St. John's for me. This is me, a big dumb dipshit who's telling you this. It would be St. John's, it would be Duke, it would be Houston, and it would be Auburn. Depending on where they fall, Selection Sunday's 3 Sundays away. And boy, does that sound good, don't it? Selection Sunday is 3 Sundays away. That means spring's almost here. That means baseball's almost here. That means the best postseason tournament in all of sports starts in the NCAA tournament. I don't care what you say. I love playoff baseball. Playoff baseball is my number one. But my favorite postseason is the NCAA tournament. Strictly from... I don't really have a dog in the fight ever because Notre Dame stinks. And Micah Shrewsbury, man, that fucking head coach. I don't know if y'all saw that interview he did a couple weeks ago where he was complaining about when they got beat by Louisville that there were more Louisville fans in the stands than Notre Dame fans and this. Dude, you stink, okay? It's not the kid's fault. I think it's your fault. You were a big dumb dipshit at Penn State. You're a big dumb dipshit now. And the difference between me and all these other content people out here is I'm not trying to be friends with these people. I'm not trying to get them on the show. Frankly, I don't give a fuck whether they like me or not. So I'm going to call you a big dumb dipshit when you're a big dumb dipshit. And if you see me out in public and it's on site, it's on site. I'm man enough to know. And I'm man enough to stand on shit. So, but yeah, Micah Shrewsbury, you're a big dumb dipshit. Can't wait till you're out of South Bend. But back to talking about the NCAA tournament. I love watching it. I love to gamble on it. It's fucking 3 weeks of awesomeness if you're a big college basketball fan. And what more could you ask for to get you ready before summer? Before spring, I should say. Holy shit. I've been waiting for warm weather so much that my brain has automatically jumped to summer. Holy shit. But anyway, BYU is my Final Four sleeper, depending on where they end up. Now, if they end up against the Johnnies, sorry for your luck there, BYU. But they're playing great ball. They're hot at the right time. Not a lot of people are thinking about them. The Big 12 outside of Houston is weak, and they could very much make a run in the Big 12 tournament, get in without sweating on Selection Sunday because all conference tournament champions get into the big dance and maybe get a decent seed. So keep that in mind. They're 25-1 to make the Final Four, depending on where you're getting it. They're my Final Four sleeper. College hoops has been off the rails. I mean, back to the Johnnies. I watched them Sunday sell out Madison Square Garden and beat the fucking brakes off of Dan Hurley and the UConn Huskies. Goodness. They just... And UConn just... They're no Adama Sanogo, no Donovan Clingan, no Stephon Castle. Danny Hurley even said that he can't coach these guys hard, which I take that for what you will. Form your own opinion on that. Whatever. I really don't give a fuck. If you're a D1 college athlete playing for the back-to-back defending national champions, you should be able to be coached how the coach needs to coach you. All right? And it all fell apart in Maui in November. That was all I really needed to see. I thought that they could put it together. I didn't want to jump to conclusions quickly, but they're just not it. UConn's not. Why? I'll figure this out with all you podcast listeners. I appreciate you, and I appreciate every one of y'all who is giving me feedback, who is giving me praise, telling me to keep going. Promise me, I will. I love this shit. I love doing this shit. And I keep losing my train of thought, man. This fucking cold is fucking with my brain. Plus, I haven't smoked yet, I'm just giddy to get this fucking pod out. So that might be my issue with why I'm jumping around. But yeah, UConn, I just remembered. UConn, don't trust them. Kansas, don't trust them. Purdue, definitely don't trust them. Those are my big three. My big three. My big three that you should not trust. And podcast listeners, like I was getting ready to say, I gotta figure out stage left and stage right on this fucking webcam because I keep moving my hands and it's not working out how I think it should work out. But yeah, like, subscribe, comment, all that good shit. Anyways, UConn, Kansas, Purdue, don't trust them. Michigan State at the buzzer tonight in Maryland with a half-court heave and a banger of a game. I mean, a banger of a game. It's heating up, guys. We've literally got next week, regular season's over for most of the country. I believe a few teams are going to start their conference tournaments next week. But other than that, everybody else wraps up the regular season. Week after next is conference tournament time. And then that Sunday, day before St. Patrick's Day, it is Selection Sunday. So we are almost there. We are almost there, folks. It's almost mid-March. So let's fucking keep moving on. Let's keep going. Let's keep fucking fighting through this hellacious winter that we've had. And while we're on hoops, I want to say a big congratulations to a hell of a career, to a WNBA legend, Diana Taurasi. Clap it up. Congratulations, GOAT. Diana Taurasi is one of those names on a Mount Rushmore. When you think of the WNBA, you think of Sue Bird, you think of Lisa Leslie, you think of Diana Taurasi. That's how my three go. And we'll go her stats real quick. Her career, 565 career games. She averaged 18.8 points, 4.2 assists, and 3.9 rebounds. She was 42.5%. She has a 42.5% field goal percentage all time, a flat 36% career 3-point percentage, and she's an 87% free throw shooter. GOAT. Legend. And I'm big on women's sports on this show. I'm going to be a big supporter. So when one of the GOATs decides to hang it up, I got to acknowledge it. So shout out Diana Taurasi. Congratulations on a hell of a career. And can't wait to see what you do next in your next chapter of life. Moving on to the association. I just got to gloat. For a second. The Cavs are so fucking good. The Cavs are so fucking good. Fucking put the New York Knicks in a casket. You got Stephen A. Smith on every channel, on every network ESPN owns, every show they got, being the Cavs' biggest fan. And it's about, you know what? I'm gonna do a Stephen A. Smith. It's about damn time. It's about damn time we got some recognition and some acknowledgement in Northeast Ohio when a sports team is good. And it's not just, oh, it's Cleveland, let's wait and see. Oh, it's Cleveland, da-da-da-da-da-da. No, go fuck yourself. This Cavs team is legit. This Cavs team's for real. This Cavs team has everything. DeAndre Hunter's a fucking dog. Ty Jerome, you need to know the name Ty Jerome. Ty Jerome is just a chill guy that gets buckets, man. He gets buckets. And you got the core four, DG, Spider, J.A., and Evan Mobley. The only team I'm concerned about is the Boston Celtics. That's really the only team I'm really concerned about in the Eastern Conference. In the Eastern Conference, I'll make that clear. It's the Boston Celtics because the other night, what did they shot 51 three-pointers? Holy fuck. I mean, and they make them. If you watch the association, that's their game plan. Their game plan is to just shoot all day. All they do in their practices is shoot in the gym. And it shows. I mean, they're defending NBA champions for a reason. So, they're the only, especially when they're healthy, they're the only team that I'm really concerned about. But man, oh man, the Cavs are so fucking good, dude. How the fuck are you supposed to stop them in the East if you're New York, if you're Indiana, if you're Orlando, who just got the shit smoked out of them last night by the Cavaliers? What are you going to do? What are you going to do? I'll tell you what you're going to do. you're going to go home early. That's what you're going to do. So good luck, everybody. And if you've been sleeping on the Cavaliers, it's time to wake the fuck up. Because the boys are back. The boys are buzzing. They're primed to go on a deep postseason run. One can only hope. Their magic number to clinch a playoff berth is 3. And you're able to have a magic number on yesterday, February 25th. You have a magic number in the National Basketball Association with a whole month and a half to go still? That's insane. This team is legit. This team is very good. And talking about other teams that, well, that's a bad segue. Because, excuse me, neither one of these teams that I'm about to talk about are very good. They're decent. I watched Luka Doncic take on the Dallas Mavericks last night. And I still cannot comprehend why the Dallas Mavericks and Nico Harrison, the general manager and president of basketball ops for the Dallas Mavericks, traded this guy. And I might have got on the internet, but we've all seen the reports. We've all seen they didn't like the fact that he was a beer drinker. They didn't like the fact that he was smoking hookah and being social and just being a fucking dude. Like, when you watch a franchise trade a generational superstar away, one can't help but hope for the downfall of that franchise so people lose their jobs. Because that's a dumb move and a dumb way to, and you can talk about the rumors that they're trying to tank the owner of the Dallas Mavericks, who isn't Mark Cuban, by the way, is trying to tank the Dallas Mavericks so he's able to move them to Las Vegas, and then the Dallas Mavericks do a Cleveland Browns situation where they become an expansion franchise but get to keep all their history when they get this Las Vegas team going, and then they'll get the Sonics back, and then the Mavericks will be back in Dallas. You can read into all that. It's fascinating, and that 30 for 30 is going to go wild. But I still don't understand. I mean, that behind the head pass that he made last night without even looking, it was just, you don't trade a guy like that. You don't trade a guy like that for, no disrespect, Anthony Davis, who is on the court for a coffee break when he's healthy, I guess, if you want to call it that. Yeah, I'll never understand it. I don't get it. And speaking of got, RIP to an all-time Twitter page, NBA Sentinel. Now, for those not familiar, NBA Sentinel was a giant troll who gained national recognition because folks would fall for his reporting thinking that he was an official account called NBA Central, who actually does report a few things. I did a little deep dive on it. Apparently, they banned him for trolling, which on Twitter is the wildest thing to ban somebody for. I don't know the full story. I just looked for his account. Not there anymore. People were tweeting about it. So, RIP to an all-time Twitter page, NBA Sentinel. You will be dearly missed, and we're going to miss having Stephen A. and Colin Cowherd and all those other dumbass talking heads got and go on national television and say some shit that they saw on the internet that was just a fucking troll. So, job well done. I believe if you're a Twitter troll, this is the end goal, right? You get on national television, and then you get your account taken down because you're too good at what you do because you keep fucking getting people. Like it's a Barry McCockiner situation. So RIP NBA Sentinel. I started off the top. I got the shirt on. Guardian spring training in baseball all the way underway. But I'm Cleveland's biggest diehard. I'm going to talk Cleveland. If you want to talk about the Dodgers and the Yankees and whatever other circle jerk of a fucking baseball team you root for that isn't the Cleveland Guardians, there's a zillion other shows out there. Go ahead and turn this one off, because I'm going to talk about how Travis Bazzana just fucking rakes, CJ Kfish just fucking rakes, Cooper Ingles just fucking rakes. The first pitch that we saw this spring. Brian Rocchio hits to the wall and gets a double. Lane Thomas picks up where he left off. Stephen Kwan's got a homer. Gavin Williams looks sensational today. Tristan McKenzie's got his velocity back. I don't care what the final scores are. When the boys are in and the boys are playing, we're back, baby. There doesn't feel like there's any drop off. It doesn't feel like there's any learning curve. Gabriel Arias playing second base seems like the likely scenario for opening day. The motherfucker hit a homer the other day. They all just... Chris Valleca should be put on trial for what he has done to the... Even Bo Naylor, it sounds like he's got a little crack to the bat when he fucking swings it. That's all we've been missing. And then the future looks bright when it comes to hitters, because all I've seen and all I've heard when I listen to the radio is crack, 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 crack. Like it's a motherfucking Freddie Gibbs song. Crack, 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 crack. That's all you hear. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful sound to hear. It's a beautiful sound to hear. Thank God Guardians baseball is back. Thank God Tom Hamilton and Jim Rosenhaus are back on the airwaves. Thank God Matt Underwood, Rick Manning, Andre Knott, and all the boys are back on the airwaves. I've missed them so. It just means we're that much closer to opening day in Kansas City on, I believe, March 27th. Let me check that real quick. Of course, I can't get the fucking calendar like this. Let's see here. Yeah, March 27th, opening day in Kansas City. We're almost there. We're literally a month away. Literally a month away. So, I'm excited. I'm happy. I'm ready to fucking roll. And I guess for some of you, this is the segment you've all been waiting for. I haven't talked about them because I've spent September through January pissed off about them. And I wanted to decompress and get in full college hoops mode. But today, the annual NFL report cards came out. And it's left me no choice. I've been called out for not talking about the Myles Garrett situation. I'm really not going to talk about that because I want it to take shape. Myles went on Radio Row during the Super Bowl saying how he wanted to play with this guy and how great it would be to play for this team and how this and how that and how much he didn't want to be here anymore. Well, the Cleveland Browns gave him a taste of his own medicine today when they went up to the podium and Andrew Berry said to anybody with a microphone who would listen, we're not trading Myles Garrett. Myles Garrett's here today, he's here tomorrow, and he's here for the days after. Which, we're in for a standoff, guys. And Mary Kay said today that if we gave him the biggest contract in NFL history, he would stay. If I'm Jimmy Haslam, which, God, I never want to be that asshole. I never want to be Jimmy Haslam, ever. What a fucking, you're a dork. But if I were Jimmy Haslam, and I've seen the way the Deshaun Watson trade has ruined this franchise and this fan base, you're no stranger to ponying up, and you want your dome. Give Myles Garrett whatever the fuck he wants. Make him the highest paid defensive player ever. Do it. Or get him the fuck out of here. Go get some capital. Let's switch him. And it's the thing with the Myles Garrett trade is it's not as easy as just shipping him out like you're on Madden. There's money involved. There's a cap involved. There's contract wording and shit like that I'm too fucking stupid to understand. But and we're gonna get into draft talk, and we've got plenty of time to talk draft options and this and that. But if you really want to contend, you already got a generational defender. Keep him. And then at number 2, if he's still there, you take Abdul Carter to play on the opposite side of him. And boom. there's more of a pass rush that we've been lacking, that we've been needing, that takes away the double teams that Myles Garrett has faced. And I guess we're here. I guess we're here, folks. I guess we're here. Everybody keeps forcing a narrative about taking a quarterback at 2. And I think that's because of what we saw in last year's draft, where it was the unicorn draft of you had 5 guys who were ready to play now, who were league ready now. Caleb Williams, and whether you believe that or not, I really don't give a fuck, because the draft was the draft when it happened last year. You had 5 guys taken in the first round. Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels, Drake May, J.J. McCarthy, Michael Penix, and Bo Nix. 6. My fault. I had to say it out loud. And Penix. My bad. Cam Ward and Shedeur Sanders are none of those 6 guys. The only thing you could talk me into is the fact that Shedeur played on a team with an absolute dog shit offensive line, and he was still able to make throws, and he was still able to make plays. I have no problem with Shedeur Sanders' ability. I have no problem with Shedeur Sanders, the football player. My problem with Shedeur Sanders, and I could be completely wrong on this, and that's fine. That's what's great about everybody having an opinion, is that it's their own opinion, and they don't have to be right. They're just telling you what they think. So this is what I think. I think that once Shedeur Sanders gets the keys and he gets a contract, how much is he really going to care about ball? And we're living in a whole new world with NIL, and I know he's Deion Sanders' son, and I know that he's lived in a luxurious lifestyle most of, if not his entire life, and he's still come out after college being a top prospect in the draft that could go as high as 1. But if him or Cam Ward were this generational talent, were the clear-cut guys to take a quarterback, then why the fuck aren't the Tennessee Titans falling in love with either one of them? You're telling me that the Tennessee Titans are going to roll out Will Levis again? You're telling me that the Tennessee Titans are going to roll out Mason Rudolph? They need a quarterback. And they don't believe that either one of those guys is worthy enough to take? That tells you everything you need to know. And I'm sorry, but a rookie quarterback, I'm not sorry. I don't know why I said that. Fuck that. I'm not sorry. A rookie quarterback is not going to fix the giant problems, the bigger problems on the bigger scale that's inside that organization, that's inside that locker room. A rookie quarterback's not going to fix that. And if you plan on bringing a veteran in anyway, take the best guy available that helps your football team grow. Neither one of these quarterbacks is going to do that for you. They're not going to be able to come in and win right away. I guarantee you that. A veteran's not going to be able to come in and win right away. I guarantee you that. This is the biggest shitstorm of an offseason that I can remember in some time, where nobody's excited. Are you excited to potentially draft another quarterback and, oh, well, let's see how this goes? We've been there. We've done that. And if you don't have a fucking knock it out of the park prospect, I don't give a fuck what anybody says. No, they're not fixing what is wrong. And that brings me to the report card. The Cleveland Browns report card, 2025. Out of 32 teams, they ranked 30th. Here is the overview. The Cleveland Browns ranked 30th in the report cards. They made a significant improvement by building a top-of-the-line weight room this past offseason, which they needed because of COVID, that they moved it out to the practice facility, addressing a major issue from previous years. However, the locker room remains the number one problematic issue for players, with over 7 in 10 players reporting that it is too small, ranking 31st out of 32 teams. Well, no fucking shit. It's Cleveland Browns Stadium. Why do you think they're trying to build a new one? That means nothing to me. When players responded to this survey, they felt that the training room was understaffed, but the survey was completed by players But after the survey, was completed by players, 2 additional hires have since improved the situation. Here's what I care about. Here's the line that proves my point. In addition to issues with their locker room, players expressed concern about poor time management and a lack of culture, accountability, and standards within the organization. Now we know why Myles Garrett wants out. It's a consensus among the locker room. I don't understand why you guys want to bring a rookie into this. A top tier. Now let's say we take an Abdul Carter or a Travis Hunter, or we trade down and we get an offensive lineman because Joel Bitonio looks like he's retiring. There are plenty of guys that you could get in the back end of the draft that could potentially pan out for you. Now, I haven't grinded the tape because I'm Mr. March Madness at the moment. You see the fucking glare on my glasses. If you're watching the YouTube, like, subscribe, share, comment. Oh, Seton Hall up 10 on Villanova. Man, Villanova on the bubble, they're not going to make it. But a rookie quarterback's not fixing that. Look at these grades. Treatment of families, D+. Food dining area, C-. Nutritionist dietitian, B-. Locker room, F-. Training room, D+. Training staff, C-. Weight room, A, because it's brand fucking new. Strength coaches, B+. Team travel, D. Head coach, C. Now let's see what they have to say about head coach. 67% of Browns players feel that our head coach Kevin Stefanski is efficient with their time, a rank of 29 out of 32. The players feel that Stefanski is moderately receptive to locker room feedback on the team's needs, ranking him 30 of 32 head coaches in the league. Ownership, C+. 3 bullet points that they have on this report card. Owner Jimmy Haslam's average rating for perceived willingness to invest in the facilities is 7.98 out of 10 from the Browns players, a ranking of 21 out of 32 owners in the league. That's not bad. If you follow the NFL, if you know who most of these owners are, a lot of them really don't give a fuck. And that's across the board in professional sports. I was having this conversation with my brother that people really don't give a fuck about winning anymore. Owners don't give a fuck about winning anymore. They haven't given a fuck about winning in decades. Decades. That shit died with George Steinbrenner and Al Davis. All that shit died with them. The old school way of owning a team, winning. The players believe that ownership slightly contributes to a positive team culture, a rank of 29 out of 32. How can you sit there and say that a motherfucker that traded for Deshaun Watson, guaranteed his contract when he hadn't taken a snap in over a year, contributes to a positive team culture? Wild. And the last bullet point, the players feel that ownership is somewhat committed to building a competitive team, a rank of 29 of the 32 NFL owners. I'll tell you what, I think they are committed to trying to win. I do. You see it in the money that's spent. But the clown that's running it, Andrew Berry, has mismanaged your money, Jimmy Haslam. He's mismanaged your money. This motherfucker, Andrew Berry, I'm so sick of him. I'm so sick of the runaround answers. I'm so sick of the Harvard, Ivy League stuffiness that I'm so tired of nerds in football. I really am. I'm so tired. Get the football guys back, man. Get guys that understand what it's like to be in an NFL locker room. Understand what it's like to be in an NFL organization. And hold people accountable. The Cleveland Browns, the players told you in this report card, there's a lack of culture and accountability. And y'all want to draft a quarterback at 2. It makes 0 sense. And it makes even more less sense when you're going to get a veteran in who everybody thinks it's going to be Kirk Cousins. I hate to break it to you guys, it's going to be Jacoby Brissett. It's going to be a back end, middle tier, lower middle tier guy that we may or may not have had before. And that's the but you want to know what I think is going to happen? The most Cleveland Browns thing of all time is going to happen. They're going to draft Shedeur Sanders at 2. They're going to make him sit like Hugh Jackson made Baker Mayfield sit. Browns are going to go 1-3, 0-4 with the veteran that they get. Put Shador in. He's not going to do well. They're going to blame Kevin Stefanski. Stefanski's out of here, and Coach Prime is the new head coach of the Cleveland Browns, which would be it'd be a circus. Aren't we tired of circuses? Aren't we tired of the pain and the punishment? Aren't we tired of this shit already? Like, come on, man. Think for some of y'all, just use your brain for once. There's no generational quarterback in this draft. There are generational talents at other positions, but not a quarterback. Shador Sanders isn't Joe Burrow. Cam Ward isn't Trevor Lawrence. Shador Sanders and Cam Ward are Mac Jones and Trey Lance. They're Marcus Mariota and Jameis Winston. Two guys that could probably get you 8-9 wins. Maybe. But I just don't see it. I'm sorry, I don't. And maybe when I grind the tape, and maybe when I see a pro day, and maybe when I see some interviews, my perception might change. But right now, February 26th, 2025, on the day I'm recording this, I don't believe it. The worst thing they could do is take a quarterback at 2. If they take a quarterback at 2, I'm gonna mail it in this season. I'm gonna know what we're in for, and that's not a bad thing if I mail it in, because they could prove me wrong. But go get the generational talent. Travis Hunter, Abdul Carter, one of the linemen. Make this football team better. Neither of these quarterbacks make this team better. And you could have a better shot at getting a guy in the later rounds who fits the mold better, who's got the urge to play football. And as I said, that's my biggest problem. I don't think, not just Shador, I don't think either one of the guys. I need to see you want to play. I need to see that shit behind your eyes, that losing fucking kills you and you want to win at all costs. I just don't see it. I just don't see it in the top 2 quarterbacks in this draft. And as I said, if they were as generational as everybody says they were, why aren't the Tennessee Titans head over heels with one of them? Why aren't any of the draft experts head over heels for him? I mean, fucking Kuiper, McShay, Daniel Jeremiah, all those guys. It changes. And I know it changes every year, every time they put out their mocks, 1.0, 2.0, C3PO. They can't all agree on a consensus. And that alone should tell you what you need to know. And Adam Schefter talking to ESPN Cleveland and anybody that'll listen that he believes the Browns are going to take a quarterback at 2. And Stefanski saying how much he likes Shador and how much he liked Cam Ward. They also met with Abdul Carter. They also met with Did they meet with Jack Sawyer? I don't think they met with Jack Sawyer yet. But it's smokescreen season. And that's why I didn't really want to get into it. But you got me. I was called out and saying I needed to speak out on the Browns. And here you go. You got it. You got Walter White meme. You got me. You got me. I don't know how you fix that football team. I don't know how you fix that franchise. It's deeper than a player here or a player there. I truly believe that. All right. Last thing I got for y'all. Longest episode so far. Shout out to Cleveland Browns. That's what they'll do. That's what, when you get me talking football, when we got a little baseball to talk about, when March Madness gets into more of a full swing, this is what this show could probably turn into. But the last thing I got, we had White Lotus. The second episode came out on Sunday. So, spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. If you're not caught up, if you haven't watched it, this is your opportunity to stop this shit now, turn that shit on, and then come back to me later. Here, I'll even give you an opportunity. I'm going to take a sip of water here. There you go. All right. The only thing I really have on the second episode of the White Lotus is that Walton Goggins' girlfriend has fantastic titties. I mean, fantastic titties. That was the takeaway I got. I'm gonna have to watch the episode again. I'm actually gonna watch both of them again, kind of get the flow of it before the third one. But we found out, homie called the North Carolina guy back finally. We found out why he's in some hot water, why there's news reporters calling him. My girl, I can't. Why did her name just fucking escape me? Our girl from the first season, she's developing a little crush with the old Thai motherfucker that's supposed to be showing her the ropes. Walton Goggins is gonna be going to Bangkok to see the wife's husband. That came out wrong. The owner of the hotel, his wife, who's there now, is going to Bangkok to see her sick husband, which is the whole reason why Walton Goggins booked it there, so he could go handle whatever business that he's got with old boy. I just, again, if I would have had 3 episodes, I get it, but I need to binge. I hate this. I'm stuck in limbo shit. I hate it. I absolutely hate it. But Walton Goggins' bitch, fantastic titties, great nipples, just a perfect way to fucking end a Sunday night for me when I'm struggling to breathe because I have an upper respiratory going on. But yeah, that's all I got for y'all. Shout out everybody that's here on the YouTube. Shout out all the pod listeners. Little house cleaning. The Twitch streams that I was supposed to have, those are still coming. Those are still happening. I was gonna do it on Sunday, but I couldn't figure out how to get my headset hooked up properly because I could never hear my Xbox. But we're coming. 2K25 PGA Tour, we're coming. I just need to get it set up. I gotta talk to my tech guy. But I appreciate y'all. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, comment. Please do all that shit. Please like every episode wherever you're listening. Please share it. I'm asking. This is as close as I'm gonna come to begging y'all. Please share it. Please share it on your feeds. I'm gonna have some clips out now that we got some video. So just please boost me up, get my algorithm going, and yeah, that's all I got, y'all. This was fun. 43 minutes, y'all. Crazy. But until next time, go sports. Stay safe.